The days go on, and Rumpel and I speak only briefly during our breaks. Every day, I eat another piece of the lily until only one is remaining. One afternoon, just before my break, Rumpel approaches me with a mischievous smile on his face. "My lovely princess, how are you today? What do you want? Your cold shoulder is enticing. I have one more table to serve. Do not bother me." "But princess, I've decided I know exactly how to teach you to be good. All of your other lessons have been useless so far. Not useful. Please, just trust me." To put my trust in someone's weakness. It is not. Oh my god, I'm so sick of your mother. "I'm going to teach you how to flirt." What? "The first step to flirting is eye contact, princess." "Wait, but why are you..." Rumpel points at my customer, a young man sitting right beside the window. "The second is to smile. Smile, princess, because I'm sure you look even more stunning when you do. Then you start a conversation with him. Body language is important. There are certain signals that key men into the fact that a woman is interested in them. I think playing with your hair is one. A gentle tap on the shoulder is another." I should have expected Rumpel to spot this sort of nonsense. Princess, the customer has been waiting for a while now. Is something wrong?" I noticed the customer looking at me expectantly. He is just some man, a usual customer that I actually see often. Princess, don't forget the compliments. Make them as delicate and illustrative as you can." Oh my god. I move away from Rumpel before he can muddle my thoughts any further. Already my feet feel like lead. I find myself staring at the man for far too long. The way he stares back at me, his expression so unreadable, suddenly makes me feel more uncomfortable. Do I really have to do what Rumpel says? Oh my god. I stop in front of the man and set down his tray, my eyes still on his. I do not have to follow Rumpel's advice, but for some reason my lips quirk. The smile on my lips though lasts all of a half second. Are you okay? God. I honestly just want to see what happens. That's the only reason why. I can feel Rumpel smiling at my back. If this were anyone else but him, I would think it was some kind of prank. But considering this is the way Rumpel acts all the time, maybe he's really trying to help me. I try to recall how he played with his customers before. I cannot help but notice you were alone, sir. I'm always alone. My heart is thumping far too loudly in my chest. What kind of things does Rumpel usually say? Madam, you are the most beautiful thief I've ever met, for it is you who have stolen my heart and stolen my gaze. Your eyes are more captivating than the stars, my sweet. If I could, I would stare into them forever and lose myself in their majesty. You remind me of a rose with thorns, but the thorns are what makes the rose so alluring. Oh, karma. All he does is spout complimentary gibberish. I will try to do the same. Oh my god. I can't believe we're actually doing this. This is embarrassing. I'm cringing. How is it that you would be always alone when you have such lovely eyes? The customer stares at me baffled. I can force myself to continue. Oh my god. Please stop it, Lucette. Your eyes remind me of the leaves in the fall as they flare beneath the bright gaze of the sun. I stop. The words, nothing more than a shallow lie, make me feel strangely hollow. The man is just staring at me, but he looks uncomfortable. Still, I do not think he's anywhere near as comfortable as I am. Ma'am? Perhaps you would. My voice trails off. I bite my lip so hard I can taste something metallic. The man's expression is a mixture of awe and perplexity. I immediately turn away from him and walk off. Oh my god, that was embarrassing. My whole face is hot and I can feel anger boiling deep down inside of me. Ah, princess, leave me alone. Princess, we're not done. I do not care. Oh, I ignore everyone's gazes as I make my way as quickly as I possibly can up the stairs into my room. Oh. There I collapse on my bed and lay there with my arms outstretched. Why would I have ever even thought of taking Rumpel's advice? That was so embarrassing. Hours go by and eventually I realize that it's time to help Anise with the night chores. Now I'm helping her restock some of the bottles that Waltz and Karma brought back from town. I hope Anise does not mention what happened earlier today. I slip out of bed and head down to the main area of the tavern. The room is mostly quiet by the time I go downstairs. Parfait and Delora are talking to each other at a table. Karma passes by me as I walk downstairs. He looks exhausted and oddly frustrated. Oh, we already know why. I make my way over to Anise, who is already putting bottles on the shelves. Oh, Princess, are you okay now? I'm fine. Now what do you need me to do? Anise explained how restocking works. She shows me the labels on the shelves and explains that the empty spots are where the new bottles go. It is not a hard job and one I can do easily without thinking too hard. For a while, the only sounds that can be heard in the marching are the bottles clinking against each other. Underneath that is a murmuring between Parfait and Delora. I have no idea what they are talking about, but they look serious, so it must be something important. So Princess, can I ask what life was like at the palace? Right. She cannot remember working in the palace before. Oh, wait, what? I don't mean to pry. I was just trying to make conversation. I would rather not. Oh, okay. Eventually, Parfait and Delora stand from their seats and move to another room to continue their conversation. Anise breaks the silence again. The tavern is nice when it's quiet like this, isn't it? You can hear the sounds outside if you open a window. My hands move stiffly, placing bottles on shelves by a label. All I want to do is get the work done and then return to my room. It was like this at the old place that I used to work. I was hired by a rich family to be their maid. Their mansion was a beautiful place. You could hear the crickets if you were by the windows on the bottom floor. It seems like her memory has been twisted by my curse, so she cannot remember working at the palace. All she remembers is working for a rich family. It was a nice place, Princess. There was a girl close to my age that had a radiant smile. Radiant smile. She must be talking about Emmeline. The head of the mansion is a really kind man, and she grows suddenly quiet, a look of confusion coming to her face. Wait, I'm gonna turn this off. Wait. Where's the music? Alright. She grows suddenly quiet, a look of confusion coming to her face. She pauses and then shakes her head. I can't seem to remember everyone that was there, but I'm pretty sure they were all good people. At least, I'd like to think so. I was just a bad maid. She was. Because of her, Delora's dress was torn. Oh, she was your maid who tore Delora's dress? I was too ashamed to tell one of the mistresses that I couldn't save her doll. Save her doll? Anise looks down, her smile wistful. I was fired on my first day because I couldn't save one of the mistress's dolls. I was the one cleaning her shelves that day, and when I went in, I saw a crow had come in through the open window and was pecking at one of the dolls. Oh wait, I shooed it away, but I was too late. The doll had a little rip in its dress, and I was fired for not doing my job properly. You are stupid. She never even did. Oh my god. So it wasn't Anise who ripped Delora's dress, but a bird? Is this why Delora insisted Anise deserves an apology? What happened after you were fired? Lady Parfait found me on the streets. I couldn't go back to my aunt's house, not after what happened. She never liked me anyway. Wow. Anise's face clouds briefly with sorrow, but the expression is short-lived. I can never forget the day I met Lady Parfait. I told her I would be able to help her and anyone else that got sick. That I can even do all the cooking since I've been making meals for my father since I was a young girl. I begged her to take me in and she did. I owe Lady Parfait a lot. Wow. Why did you go back to your father after you were fired? My father passed away a while ago. My mother died giving birth to me. Oh my god. My father was a herbalist and he taught me a lot while he was still with me. So before Rumpel came in, I helped Lady Parfait with herbal remedies. So you have no one. That's what I thought, but now I have everyone here. The Marchen is my family now. Family? Princess, we're all happy to have you here too. You really help out around the Marchen, and I can tell Rumpel's happy to have you as a partner. The memory of what happened today slowly seeps back into my mind. I cannot help the irritation bubbling up inside of me. I know he's a little overwhelming, but I'm pretty sure Rumpel's really trying to help you, just like he's helping Lady Parfait. It is not the same thing at all. The two of us continue working until the niece makes another wistful comment. The place I worked before this, it felt like there was warmth in that gigantic home, but it was stifled. That place isn't warm at all. I speak the words without even meaning to, and Niece looks up at me curiously. The king suddenly started speaking to me when Mother died, but it was never enough. Before that, he was cold and distant, and even now he favors his new wife and children over me. There were people, but they all wore fake smiles, and my father, he was the worst of all. I may as well have never existed to him. Princess, I'm sorry. For what? You're talking about the palace, right? The king always seemed so nice. He put his kingdom before his children. Anise fidgets nervously. I'm sorry. Apologies are not going to change the past. Sometimes apologizing seems like all we can do when we can't change something that's already happened. True. I think about Anise, who tried to sing my doll in the way I fired her that day. Rumpel told me once that all I had to do was listen to people to sympathize with them. Could that also be true for finding out the truth? All I can do to make up for what I did to her is apologize. I am sorry. Anise looks at me clearly shocked. She stares for a few moments before I scowl at her. Staring is rude. Oh, why are you apologizing to me, princess? It is for something I did that you wouldn't remember. That I wouldn't remember? You should tell me. I promise I wouldn't hold it against you. It is not important. Anise's eyes are suddenly downcast, and no matter the attempt, her smile isn't as bright as it once was. I quickly finish stacking the bottles on the shelves. I am done. Anise turns to look at me with an unusually tired expression on her face. Thank you for listening to me, princess, and for telling me a little bit about yourself too. I feel like I might have said too much. I do not respond to Anise, but instead choose to head out the front door. Anise asks where I'm going, but I just ignore her. I think about heading to town, but then reconsider. I decide to head to the forest instead. I make my way to the forest clearing. In the dark, everything feels a lot more comfortable. Here, I do not have to pretend to listen to anyone, and I do not have to talk about myself. I settle down on a rock and stare up at the sky. I apologize, but Anise did not even understand my apology. And even now, I still cannot bring myself to trust those at the margin. I sigh and find myself speaking aloud. Maybe I am the Ice Princess. But have you seen the beautiful sculptures that can be made from Ice Princess? I turn to see Rumpel walking toward me, a broad grin on his face. Ice always sparkles in the sun. It glistens and stands so proudly where it's been sculpted. I stare at Rumpel blankly. He sighs and shakes his head. I'm sorry, that one was particularly bad, wasn't it? He sits down beside me and his grin falters a little bit. Aww. I have no white lilies to give you this time, my sweet princess, but I will offer anything else you would need for me to apologize for my advice earlier today. I can offer anything, my words, my body. I cut Rumpel off as I am not in the mood for his usual behavior. You are always like this. All you ever do is flirt. Any meaningful thing you try to say is lost in the flattery you constantly give to people. It is shallow. You're right. I want a screenshot. What? I stare at him. Rumpel is still smiling, but it is not the same confident grin he wore earlier. Somewhere deep in my memories, I remember someone telling me off just like this. Many people enjoy flattery, princess, and a lot of people are receptive to flirting. But nothing can measure up to a genuine compliment. But I stand by what I said before in that making a person happy is a good deed. Look, I'll show you. Rumpel shifts so that he's looking right at me, and I notice that his smile is gone. Lucette, of all the women I've met, you are the most straightforward and honest. Many do not have the courage or the confidence to exhibit those qualities. And that's why I admire you, and why I will always take your words to heart, because I know you will always speak the truth. I look into Rumpel's eyes, which still have a gentle shimmer despite the darkness. For a few moments, his words float around in my head. No one has ever called my bluntness honesty before, and no one has ever complimented me for it. Rumpel told me before that I deserve to be spoiled. Maybe it's because he sees the things I do in a more positive light. My, you're struck speechless by that, are you? You look cute with your cheeks so rosy, my sweet princess. I glare at him, and Rumpel just laughs in response. I put a hand to my cheek, suddenly self-conscious. Rumpel smiles at me, but it is not the usual playful smile. Right now, he looks almost serious. Did he mean what he just said? Ooh. Ask him if he meant it, or tell him off. Ooh, I don't know. Well, he did mean it, I think, but... Girl, I don't know. I mean, honestly, she would tell him off, so just tell him off. Why did you have to be so dramatic when you gave me that compliment? I was dramatic? I cross my arms and Rumpel grins at me. I can't help it, princess. I am dramatic by nature. A compliment is, in some ways, a performance. So you did not mean what you said. Oh. No, I did. I swear I did. I was just trying to show you how making a person happy could be a good deed. Complimenting a person on appearances is easier than complimenting them on their demeanor. You have to know a person for that. I meant what I said, princess, and I swear that wasn't just me trying to weave spectacular words together. Earlier, I bet you made Anise happy too. Wait, what? You were spying on our conversation? I would never, you stalker. I just happened to be making my way down the stairs very slowly. You don't even know what I was apologizing for. No, but you thought you had to after you listened to her, didn't you? I listen far more than you do. Princess, you shattered my heart so many times there are permanent cracks. But do not worry, the cracks in my heart allow even more of you to make your way into it. Oh my god. Rumpel awkwardly laughs when I remain silent. Anyway, there are different kinds of listening. Princess. Listening to sympathize is one kind. Trying to put yourself in someone else. Oh my god. Trying to put yourself in someone's shoes, trying to understand them, that is one of those ways. Then there is the kind of listening that is shallow. One pretends to listen without ever letting the words into their heart. Words are fickle things. Mother always told me that people lie and that they would say whatever benefited them. It is foolish to trust words. What if Anise had been lying to me? Why would I put so much blind faith in people? Because, more often than not, people are good, princess. I let out an expired sigh. Sometimes I cannot tell if I'm angry or confused by Rumpel. Ah, what a beautiful sound. It was as if the sweet wind itself was gently tickling my ear. I slide away from him and scowl. Your scowl is adorable too, and you have such delicate lips? Right. I am still convinced that his earlier compliment was just a lie. How can he say something genuine and then slide right back into this pitiful flattery? For a moment, silence falls, and I find to my surprise that it is not awkward being alone with Rumpel. Will you accept my apology for earlier? I promise I'll never try to get you to flirt with anyone ever again. Because if you flirted with another man and then grew fond of him, I would be devastated. That would never happen. You didn't let me finish. I was going to say that I'd be devastated because that would mean your heart belongs to someone else, and my heart belongs to no one. I will steal it like a thief in the night. That will also never happen. If not that, then I'll settle with making you smile at least once, because I'm sure you would shine as brightly as the sun if you smiled. You are unreasonably persistent. Love is a persistent endeavor, princess. A man in love stops at nothing to win over the woman that he so adores. Then you must be in love with many women. I stand up. I would appreciate you just complimenting me when you mean it. But princess, I mean every one of my compliments. I have no energy to chastise him right now, but at least I no longer have that anger inside from earlier. It's been a long day and I'm going to bed. Would you like company? Sure. I didn't mean. Good night, Rumpel. Good night, Princess Lucette. I make my way back to the tavern feeling surprisingly light. Still, even if Rumpel's words might make me happier than I care to admit, he is not doing a very good job of helping me with my curse. I might have to do this on my own after all. Oh well. Chapter 5, The Doctor. What a brilliant day. The sun is shining, the town is full of laughter, and I have my sweet princess here to accompany me. I cannot help but grin at Rumpel's optimism, because we were both sent out to run errands. Because everyone thinks we make a wonderful couple. No, because we are partners. Partners, a couple, it may as well be the same thing. Half of the time, Rumpel says some deep things, but then he says things like that. It is like he has two personalities. No, it is not the same thing at all. I take out the list and scour it for the things we need to buy. More than half of it is already crossed out. I glance at the bags Rumpel is carrying. He refuses to let me carry any of them, insisting that it would be impolite to force a load on me. That's literally the opposite of karma. Oh my god. That leaves me with list duty. This is a lot more laid back than what I had to do at the march-in. Okay, now we have the general medicine restocked for a niece. My area of expertise. Never fear, my sweet princess. I will find everything we need. We already have a list. But Rumpel just hums enthusiastically as we continue on our way, and I am not entirely sure if he heard me or not. We arrive at the little medicine shop in the central plaza. A man exits through the front door, coughing so loudly people turn their head to stare at him. I wait for the man to pass so that I can open the door to the store, but then I notice that Rumpel hasn't budged beside me at all. His eyes do a quick scan of the man before he slowly begins to walk toward him. Sir, you are sick. Eh? What's it to you? Even if I was sick, lad, there's nothing I can do if I don't have any money. Besides, it's not like this will kill me. It's just a cough. How long have you had your cough, sir? It seems like such a minor thing, but Rumpel suddenly looks so serious about it. He looks at the man with his eyes slightly narrowed, as if trying to see past him. It's been with me for more than 3 days. Coughs are pesky things, aren't they? They're usually the last thing to go. But at least they're not deadly most of the time. Even if you can't buy the medicine, sir, there are other things at home. There are other at-home remedies that might help with your cough. Boy, I've already tried warm tea. My wife's given me enough of that. Water is good too for your throat, sir. Any kind of steam works too. If the cough is riddled with mucus, it'll be easier to expel with steam. When you can't afford the medicine, sometimes the simple things will help, and coughs stay for a while, so don't fret if you don't get rid of yours immediately. Well, I appreciate the advice. Not exactly what a doctor would tell me, but it'll have to do. Joke's on you, he is a doctor. The man thanks Rumpel before walking off. I notice Rumpel looking at the ground, a rather forlorn expression on his face. Is what he said true? About what, princess? About doctors not giving advice about at-home remedies? Most of the doctors don't believe in such things. They always think that medicines work better than at-home or herbal remedies. The medicines do help, but sometimes they aren't necessary. Yet you just gave him advice. Not everyone can afford medicine. Being a doctor means helping people, not taking advantage of their sickness to steal their money. Money was never a problem at the palace. Whenever I was sick, the palace staff made sure I had the best and most effective medicines. Do you remember what you were like as a doctor? I wanted to help everyone that showed up at my doorstep. Sometimes I couldn't and it frustrated me. I prescribed medicine when necessary, gave advice other times, and when things were dire, I performed small operations. He does seem a lot more serious when he's talking about health. Rumpel was silent for a few moments before his eyes lit up once again. Anyway, shall we go stock up on our medicine? I thought you said medicine wasn't always helpful. Because it's not, but I also know that Anise uses mostly herbs, and she tries to handle things without too much medication. She's quite capable. We enter the shop, and in no time at all, Rumpel spots the items on our list. We use up the rest of our money to buy the medicines and remedies that we need, and we begin to head back to the tavern. On the way there, Rumpel strikes up a conversation again. So, Princess, have you given any thought to what I said before? About what? You've already forgotten about making people happy. What? You know, you could make me happy right here and now by giving me a kiss on the cheek. I stared blankly at him before walking away. No, thank you. And alas, my hopes are dashed again. When we are at the outskirts of town, I pause and turn around. It is as if I can feel eyes at my back, but I do not see anyone openly staring at me. Is someone watching me? Suddenly, I feel warmth in my hand, then fingers interlace through mine. Rumpel pulls me a little closer, his expression oddly gentle. Don't worry, my sweet princess, you're safe with me. What? Suddenly, his face is a lot closer to mine, and I can see his features more closely. It is like the night in the forest, except his face is not mirrored by the same shadows. There is caution in his eyes, but it is not directed at me. Did you see someone following you? No, I just thought I felt someone looking at me. Better to stay together then. We begin walking again. The two of us begin to head back to the march-in. Rumpel has all the bags in one hand now. He hums a little bit as we walk. It is remarkably peaceful, so much so that I do not even mind him holding my hand. What? It suddenly feels a lot safer. I am so lost in reverie that I do not even notice when we turn and go in the opposite direction. Aww, this is not the way back to the march-in. On the contrary, it's just a more scenic path. Don't you like the forest, princess? The shafts of light coming through the canopies, the soft blades of grass that tickle your ankles. It is such a romantic place. Oh, he's blushing. No matter what he says, this does not lead back to the march-in. It is not a scenic path or a path at all. Stop walking. I instantly root myself into place, and even though Rumpel is far taller than me and far stronger, he stops after noticing that I am no longer walking. Oh, princess, did you want to stop and admire the scenery? Why are you taking me through here? I do not care about scenery, and I do not care about walking anywhere with you. Oh, princess, your honesty really is a treasure. One day I will make it so you enjoy going places with me, not just holding my hand. I quickly slide my hand out of his, my face feeling somewhat hot. Ah, there's a sweet rosiness to your cheeks. You never answered my question. It's a detour. We were only going to be in here for a few minutes. If you thought you saw someone's eyes on you, it's better to divert their attention away from the march-in. And before you say it's dangerous, yes, it is, but we're still not far enough away from town to worry about safety. And I believe I can protect you. Aww, you're so sweet! Won't you compliment my cleverness, sweet princess? He takes a step forward, bridging the short distance between us, and then suddenly his fingers are around my wrist again. But he does not lace his fingers through mine. Instead, he takes my hand in his and then pulls it up to his face. Before I realize it, my hand is on his cheek, his hand cupping my own. Oh, God. Oh, princess, you can trust me always. I mean, I can sense that sometimes you trust me, sometimes you don't. But you don't need to be so cautious around me. I shower you with compliments because I believe you deserve them. I tell you that I enjoy being around you because I do. Oh my god. You're so sweet. I love these two. This is probably my favorite. I like Rumpel and Lucette. This is probably my favorite so far. And I feel like I've said that for every route, but really, as I go through it, it's like the characters are so different. Like, and we had Rod and Karma. So, I mean, they were kind of like cold and everything, but Rumpel is like, he's like sweet and laid back and all that, you know. Rod was just like disinterested, and then Karma, he was just like humorous. I don't know, and then like it's so amazing to me how how different all these characters are, and like still like they can make my heart like swoon. I should be focusing on his words, but all I can look at are his eyes. What do I do? What do I need to do for you to fully trust me? Mother told me that people lie, so how can I trust that everything he says is the truth? Perhaps if I stopped throwing compliments at you, you would not be you without all of the compliments. What am I saying? I always complain about his compliments, but the thought of a Rumpel without compliments is strange. So you do enjoy my compliments, sweet princess. No, what? Words have deserted you? I understand. Being so close to me would have that effect on any moment. Something bright and angry flares up inside of me, something that I don't understand. I pull my hand away from him and scowl in my face. Was it my big mouth again, princess? Come on, let us go back to the margin. I start walking ahead and Rumpel rushes to catch up with me. I clench my fingers and let out a silent sigh. Rumpel was being nice to me again, but I always reject his kindness because it cannot be real. It can be real. You're just brainwashed. By your mother. Days go by. I consider Rumpel's advice, but I refuse to flirt with anyone again. But I have no idea how to make anyone happy. Rumpel told me that I cannot make anyone happy without knowing anything about them and listening to them like I did with a niece. But what reason do I have to listen to people? This is so frustrating. Days later, Rumpel and I sit at a table waiting for our work orders. Rumpel is on the verge of a conversation when we suddenly hear Parfait speaking in the doorway. Rumpel picks up on the words before I do and rushes over to the front door. He looked almost nervous. Who was at the front door? I excuse myself briefly, telling Anise that I will be back. I make my way over to the front door, and there I see three people in conversation. There's Rumpel and Parfait and a very pale man. The pale man looks like death itself, like he might just kneel over. I can help him. Rumpel. He needs help. He can stay in my room instead. I can even restock the medicines on my own if need be, so please let me help him. There is a desperation in Rumpel's eyes that I've never seen before. He looks at Parfait pleadingly, all the while holding the man by the shoulder to steady him. What is happening? Oh, princess, this man heard about Rumpel through one of the men at the tavern. He's sick and doesn't have a lot of money to pay for treatment. He came here seeking Rumpel. He must have been able to find this place because he's cursed. Does he even have the money to pay? Rumpel turns to me with a frown on his face. I have never seen him look at me so sternly. Princess, you remember what I told you before. He was insistent that a doctor's #1 priority was to help their patient, regardless of their monetary situation. Take him to your room then, Rumpel. I will have Anise assist you if she's willing. No, Anise does not need to worry herself. I think she'd want to help you. The two cut their discussion short when the man starts coughing, a terrible hacking cough that paralyzes him. Rumpel steadies him and then he begins to slowly move him toward his room. Don't worry, princess, he'll be fine. What? I can see the worry on your face. Rumpel will be fine. Why would I worry about Rumpel? Because it's not like you to worry about someone you don't know at all. He looks so alarmed. I've never seen Rumpel look like that before. It is not like him. Rumpel knows what he's doing. I'll have someone else assist you with serving today, so no worries. Parfait comes through on her promise. When I go back to the bar, both Anise and Rumpel are gone. Karma or Miss Karma is there, instead looking disgruntled. Waltz would be better at this. Why do I have to help? Because Waltz is busy doing his puppet shows, and Rumpel is helping a sick man. Oh, well, I guess there's nothing to do about this then, other than enjoy it. He flips his hair and smiles brightly. Or brilliantly, God. I will attract all the customers today. Perhaps we should have a competition, princess. Compete with yourself. I am really not in the mood for karma right now. Then I shall definitely compete with myself because challenging yourself is important. Oh my god. Karma picks up waiting tables fairly easily. I notice that he speaks very fondly to the girls, but they are not as receptive as they are with Rumpel. Many times they ask Karma where Rumpel is, and he seems agitated when he tells them that Rumpel is busy. They seem just as irritated. Once my break starts, I meet Karma at the bar. He looks depressed. I guess if you and Rumpel competed to woo girls, he would win. Darling, if I were to shed my disguise right here and now, I'd be the clear victor. Since without this disguise, women would flock to me. It is rather uncomfortable to have every woman in Angielle fall in love with you. Period. You look like you're judging me, princess. Because I am. If only you understood my plight. Karma and Rumpel may speak similarly, but they are still so different. Karma is the type to complain. Rumpel never complains. He is overworking himself for someone else, just like when he went out of his way to apologize to me many times. My heart sinks a little bit as I think of him and Anise helping out the sick man. Rumpel did not even want Anise going up there, so he probably wouldn't want me up there either. I could try to go visit him, or I could go back to my room. Ooh, go to his room. I think I'll go check on him. Check on Rumpel? I hadn't realized I was speaking aloud. I look at Karma, who furrows his eyebrows at me slightly. I honestly don't know how you can stand him as a partner. Why do you dislike Rumpel so much? A lot of things, princess, but that fight is between us and doesn't involve you. Then do not involve me. You have no need to comment on us being partners. Karma looks at me wide-eyed and a little shocked. Then a sort of knowing comes into his eyes and he smiles just a little bit. Yes, I think you should go visit him, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get him off of your mind, would you? He laughs a little before picking up his tray and rushing off to continue his shift. I slowly make my way upstairs, my feet feeling heavy. For some reason, I feel like Karma was right. I make my way over to what I think is Rumpel's door. The door is slightly ajar and I hear hushed voices on the other side. Those voices definitely belong to Anise and Rumpel. I slowly push the door open and quietly step inside. Rumpel and Anise are standing over the man who is covered in blankets and coughing. A series of bottles sit on the table close by. None of the herbal remedies are working. We need a medicine for this. I'm sorry, I don't have any more money to offer, Rumpel. Anise, please don't sound so sad. You've already tried helping as much as you possibly can. It's my fault for promising to buy the medicine that we need. I glance at the table where a list is sitting. A beautiful cursive handwriting details everything that the patient needs. Everything is circled except for some medicine at the very bottom that has a star next to it. Is that Rumpel's handwriting? Suddenly the two of them turn. They both look shocked to see me. Princess, what are you doing here? I came to see how you were doing. Princess, I'm fine, but he glances down at the man on the bed and he sighs out a little bit. We've given him what we can, but the one medicine that we need is something we can't afford. Even with the money I'm getting from Lady Parfait, it isn't enough. I walk into the room and glance at the list. I look over at the total for the medicine and then at the coins on the table that I hadn't noticed before. Did Rumpel use all his money for this stranger? What will happen if you do not get this medicine? Without this, the infection will spread and he goes silent as the man starts coughing again. I can read the answer in his eyes even if he won't say it. The man could be in terrible danger. He could even die. Rumpel looks defeated. He does not look like himself at all. I glance at the coins again, then at the list. Without a second thought, I grab both the list and the coins. Princess, where do you? I'll be back. I leave the room even with Anise and Rumpel protesting behind me. I make my way to my room where I pick up the bag of coins that the king gave me when I went to the palace on the day I was cursed. Then I head for the door. Oh, are you gonna go get the medicine yourself, girly? Oh my god. I immediately head for the medicine store that we always frequent. I count out the coins that I need to buy the medicine. This will take all of my money, but it wasn't as if I was going to use it for something else. I rush back to the merchant with the medicine in a little bag, hoping that this is the one that Rumpel needs. It is dark by the time I get back to the margin. I make my way to Rumpel's room again and notice that he is sitting on a stool beside the patient's bed looking at him forlornly. When I enter the room, his eyes go wide. He seems even more surprised when I hand him the bag. Princess, is this? He opens the bag and lets the little vial roll out onto his hand. Period, we went and got that for you. How did you buy this? I combined your total with the money I left. Rumpel just stares at me, clearly flabbergasted. Then his expression morphs into something softer, something more relieved. He steps forward and suddenly his arms are around me. Aww. He grips me tightly and then I hear his voice in my ear. Thank you so much, Princess Lucette. My heartbeat picks up slightly. It is so loud I think Rumpel might hear it, but when he pulls away, he does not say anything. I'll have to thank you for this later, Princess, but for now you should leave. I don't want you to get sick. I'm too dazed to agree. I nod my head quietly before moving swiftly toward the door. I glance back at Rumpel one last time, noticing that he is checking the man's temperature. The moment I leave the room, a flash of light emanates from my chest. We broke! Oh! We got our first good deed! I accidentally touch the glass slipper at my neck and then pause as I stare down at it. I feel a soft gasp leave my lips when I notice the fragment of a second slipper. I got my first good deed. I bought the medicine for Rumpel, but I only added in a few more coins to buy it. So what I did today was considered a good deed? I'm confused, but at the same time, I am pleased that I actually managed to get a good deed. Now I only need 2 more. The next day, I go down to the tavern area to begin my work, but I'm there a little early. Walt is working on his puppets at a table, eyebrows furrowed in concentration. When I walk in, he looks up at me and smiles, then he raises his eyebrows. Princess, congratulations! You got your first good deed. I did. I knew you could do it. I nod in response. His praise makes me feel oddly proud. I continue my usual work, keeping an eye out for Rumpel as I work my shift, but he never appears. A few days go by, and it is only after the man leaves, looking a lot healthier and stable than he was before, that I finally see Rumpel. He and the man speak at the front door to the tavern. No, sir. No, really, sir. I couldn't take anything from you. Nonsense. You saved my life. I need to pay you back somehow. The man is holding money out to Rumpel, but Rumpel just shakes his head. I notice that there are dark circles under his eyes and that he looks tired. I didn't help you for the money, but I insist. The money could be spent on better things like your family. You may not take my money, but I promise I will pay you back. Your health is all the reward I need, I promise. I can't thank you enough. After the man leaves, I approach Rumpel. He turns to me and leans against the door, his smile tired but still bright. Princess, come to heal my weary body, perhaps? I would still love another hug. Oh, she's bullshit. My face becomes hot at the memory of Rumpel's hug from the other day. The natural rogue of your cheeks is so sweet, Princess. It makes me feel infinitely better. And your necklace seems different? I reach up to touch the pendant. Every time I get a good deed, a piece gets added to my necklace. Oh, right. You helped me with the medicine the other day. Of course that was a good deed, Princess. It was very selfless of you. Thank you again for that. That man tried to thank you too, but you refused his money. Why? And why did you spend your money on him? Because life is invaluable, Princess. No amount of money could ever be more important than a person's life. Even if it's someone you do not know. Yes, because everyone has a life, Princess. They have loved ones, families, sweethearts. And if I can help them, I will. And I will gladly spend any amount of money to do so. Okay, fine. But why did you not accept any money from that man? Because no amount of money. You need that money. How are you going to buy more medicines without any money? Rumpel's eyes widen. He was clearly not expecting me to ask that question. But he said before he didn't have that much money, and it was true. I can't take money from him when he does not have much of it to begin with. He was thanking you with money. You should have accepted it. Parfait pays you, does she not? Rumpel's shoulders sag when he sighs. Yes, even though I won't accept the money from her face to face, she has to sneak it into my wallet. If she does that, why not just accept it from her? I'm trying to make a statement, Princess. And Parfait does not seem to care because she sneaks in the money into your wallet regardless. You have a point there. You're stubborn. We both are. Period. Now I have a question. Why did you use your money on that man? You knew nothing about him. Did you do it for him, for yourself? Or for me, perhaps? Rumpel grins at me mischievously. Even with the tired eyes, I can still see the bright cheer in them. Hit the nail right on the head. Again, you're becoming easier to read, my sweet princess. Well, no matter why you did it, thank you. That medicine was necessary to help that man. I still think you should have accepted money from him. You helped him and did him a service no one else would. You should have accepted his gratitude. Princess, I told you. I crossed my arms in front of him. You're so stubborn. Rumpel's smile falters and he just looks at me sadly, almost guiltily. For some reason, the sight of him in such a state makes my heart sink. Wipe off that frown. You look better with a smile. Rumpel stares at me shocked. Why is he staring at me like that? You like my smile? What? I did not say You like my smile and you complimented it too, Princess. Princess, you have no idea how much this means to me. Rumpel throws his hands in the air. I resist the urge to roll my eyes at the exaggerated reaction. You get compliments from all the time from women. Yes, but not as honest as yours. That compliment is valuable because I know you absolutely meant it. So, oh my god. So I will keep those words close to my heart because they are precious to me. It wasn't anything like the spectacular compliments he gives me, yet he still looks so happy. You two seem to be getting along. Parfait appears behind us with a smile on her face. Sorry to interrupt, but Lucette, Karma is slowly drowning in table work. Would you help him? Yes, of course. Rumpel looks disappointed as I am sent back to the bar where Karma expresses immediate relief that I am back. Rumpel retires to his room early that day and he is given the day off. Both Delora and Parfait can see the tiredness on his face just like I can. He does not reappear for the rest of the day and at the end of my shift I return to my room. Or retire. Whatever, same thing. When I get downstairs the next morning, I am met with a familiar sight. Both Karma and Rumpel stand on opposite sides of a table, their voices rising in argument. They are fighting again. I happen to catch their words as I walk quietly down the stairs. Who are you to criticize my work ethic when you were gone for several days, leaving me with your workload? It wasn't like I wanted to, and who are you to criticize how I work? All the ladies I spoke to said that you shower them with compliments. What kind of professional behavior is that? I'm having a hard time believing you're a professional with the way that you flaunt yourself. At least I don't flirt with people to attract their attention. And you flirt with them and don't even realize the effect it has on other people. Flattery is not a crime. Just yesterday, the princess came to see you in your room all because you gave her the impression that you liked her. What? Were you actually spying on her and you call me uncouth? No, I overheard her say it. And you're wrong. I would never say anything if it isn't truthful. Ah, well, then the truth of the matter is that you must be in love with many women, because they all seem to think that you'll get down on one knee and propose to them. You say some sly things, Miss Karma, and yet you're the biggest liar of us all. At least I don't lie to my partner. What? Defend him. Rumpel tells me that he never lies. He tells me that he wants me to trust him, though I still find it hard to believe. I do want to trust him. I walk down the rest of the stairs and stop at Rumpel's sides. Both men look equally surprised to see me there. Rumpel has never lied to me yet. Karma looks up and stares at me for a few moments, looking startled by my sudden appearance, then he sighs. Princess, a man that flatters everyone doesn't flatter anyone. At least he's not so conceited he flatters himself constantly. Such a sharp tongue you have, Princess, and you are very quick to jump to assumptions. You two are at it again? Jurian stops at the table and frowns at them. Both men glance away from her cold gaze. Karma murmurs something before excusing himself. Rumpel looks down at the table, his eyebrows knit together with frustration. What is wrong with you two? Why can't you just be civil with each other? Jurian, you're never here to see how these fights start. Karma is every bit a beast, attacking me for no good reason at all, but with your keen eye, you should be able to discern that, right? Flattery won't work on me, Rumpel. And second, I doubt these fights start without any bit of prompting from you. I swear I don't start anything. Karma's just always irritable. He's like a woman during that one time of the month. Jurian walks away stiffly, leaving me with Rumpel. I look at him a little irritated by his earlier comment. He gives me a sheepish smile. Thank you, princess. For what? For defending me. I swear I meant what I said. I would never lie to you. I mean every one of my compliments, every one of my thank yous. You must know that since you came to defend me. Rumpel, sometimes... Ooh. You continue talking when nothing needs to be said. But I am just expressing the depths of my gratitude. It is not necessary. It was such a small thing, too. Princess, can you give me some help with the inventory? I'm coming. As I turn away, Rumpel waves. I'll see you later, princess. Who knows? You might get your second good deed. I resist the urge to roll my eyes. It feels like it would be a while yet before I can achieve my next good deed. Chapter 6, Strings of Fates. Oh. What a brilliant day. The sun is shining, the town is full of laughter, and I have my sweet princess here to accompany me. It sounds like I'm getting easier to read, too. No, you've just said it enough times that I memorized it. That means you must pay attention to my words. That in itself is a compliment, princess. It is not. We are on our way to the usual store to restock our medicines when a small figure leaps out through the front door. She stares at us with a lost look on her face. Rumpel reacts immediately, making his way over to her with a broad smile. Who are you? Madam, I can't help but notice that pained expression upon your beautiful face. Is there anything I can do to assuage your worries? For seeing your lovely face shadowed by such sadness stabs me right in the heart. The woman stares at Rumpel dumbfounded. His smile wavers and he takes a step back, suddenly looking alarmed. Oh, I'm sorry. It's you. Huh? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is awkward, madam, but I'm afraid I don't know you. What? Or do I? Do I know you? I take a step forward and look at the man. Oh my god, look at the woman flatly. He has been cursed. He has amnesia. Amnesia? The woman stares at Rumpel, scrutinizing him. You do seem different. Changed from before in any case. Oh, so you knew me before. How terrible it is of me to forget such a lovely face, but perhaps you can help me remember? The usual flirty suggestion is in his voice, but the woman seems unaffected. I can help you remember. You can? It's no wonder I can't remember your name. You have the Fairytale Curse, don't you? Who is this woman? You truly don't remember me. I'm sorry. The woman looks conflicted, but the expression is gone as fast as it appears. I'm Bria. You're... What? Bitch? Bitch? He is ours! Sorry, honey. Y'all are long gone. We're his new fiance. We're gonna be his... Actually, we're gonna be his soon fiance, and then we're gonna be husband and wife, so you can get out of the picture. Bye. Period. We're his. Sorry. What? The shock is apparent on my face, but nowhere near as impressive as the astonishment on Rumpel's face. My fiance? She has to be lying. How can Rumpel possibly have a fiance with the way that he is? He is barely able to dedicate himself to a single woman for an hour. Bria takes a step forward and takes Rumpel's hands in her own. You don't remember holding my hands like this when you took me to the forest and proposed to me? Girl, what are you doing this on purpose? Rumpel opens his mouth, but no words escape. He reminds me of a lost dog all of a sudden with his eyes so wide. Bria runs her fingers over his hands. I loved you, you loved me, and I still love you very much. Cringe! Oh my god, cringe. I'm gonna throw up. I don't remember this. How can I help you remember? Rumpel's voice is faint, but still he tries to smile. The circumstances of the curse tell me that I need to remember through memories and, a journal somehow? A journal? I have your old journals. I can show you the very first love letter you wrote me. Girl. Bria starts walking. Her hand still claps in Rumpel's. I stare after them for a few moments, trying to piece together what is happening in my head. I chase after them. We're here. Bria enters a house, one that Rumpel stares at in awe. When she comes back out, she is holding a journal. She hands it to Rumpel, then opens up to the first page. This is a little embarrassing, but there it is. You compiled your letters into a journal. Rumpel slowly reads over the words, and I notice a strange glazed look come back into his face as his expression grows more somber. This is like last time, when he remembered that he was a doctor. Bria turns to me as Rumpel is reading, her eyebrows arch. And who are you? His partner. Partner? We are helping each other with our curses. Oh, you're cursed too, you poor thing. Bitch! Bitch! Try me! Fight me! Pull up! I'll fight you in a minute. Oh my god. This girl gonna be getting me like hyper and everything because she gonna be in the way of a relationship with him. Sorry girl, we already claimed him. Bria's voice is flat. She's glaring at me beneath her smile. I have done nothing to merit this distrust from her. And I cannot bring myself to trust her either. Bria. Rumpel looks up from the journal and stares at her. Yes, sweet? Rumpel's melancholy expression throws me off. Last time he was so excited when he realized he was a doctor, but now his expression is heartbreaking. I remember, I did propose to you. What? In the forest, when it was dark, you set up little lights around the clearing. We spoke for a while, and then when you got down on your knee, you dropped the ring. Okay, I don't want to hear about this. This is making me mad. It had fallen in the roots of some tree. We only noticed it when a bird came down to pluck it out of the bramble. I had no idea what you were looking for, but I still chased after the bird. And you got the ring back and you knew. Bria holds out her hand and I notice a beautiful red-green gem ring on her ring finger. Aw, that's pretty. Can we have it? It was so charming though. I laughed for so long because it felt so memorable. Plucking your engagement ring out of a bird's beak. You're right. Rumpel smiles a little uncertainly. In that moment, I feel him turn away from me. He does not even realize I'm there standing with Bria. Are you serious? Why? Why am I feeling so uncomfortable? You said you were helping Rumpel with his curse, yes? She turns to me. There's no worry. I can help it now. That is what couples do. What? I have to force the pity out of my heart. I have to force myself to think rationally. Something still seems off about this, but Rumpel remembers. Which this means this is the truth in it. Ah, bitch, I'm still his partner. Wait. Can I go back? Can I go back? Can I go back? Oh, wait, no, I can't. I still feel something is wrong. I do not trust his women. Do you know anything about him, dear? Have you helped him regain any of his memories? Yeah, girl, we have. So you haven't. So, period. We claimed on him. Yeah. She was with me when I regained my memories. Lucette is a very valuable good luck charm. Yeah, bitch. Take that. Sorry, I'm cussing so much. Rumpel flashes a small smile at me before turning to Bria. Her eyes seem a lot colder now. Period. Try me. Tell me, what do you go by now? Until we figure out your name, I need something to call you. Rumpel. Bria's cold gaze falls on me, and I can sense something in them that surprised me. Jealousy? Jealousy? Why would she be jealous of me? Because she should be. We're more beautiful than her, and Rumpel is our man. And period, we stole him from you. Rumpel, would you maybe want to come back home with me tonight? Girl, what? I know you must be overwhelmed, but our home might be able to help you remember some things. I'm sorry. I actually have a patient somewhere else that I need to tend to. Bria's eyes flash briefly. Her frown is there for a few seconds before she smiles again. You always were good with your patients. I'm sorry. It's okay. I understand that you're overwhelmed. But remember, now I'm here for you too. I want to mend things, to make them go back to what they were before. Bitch. How about you look over that journal and then we meet again tomorrow? We can take this one step at a time. I would like that. What? We can get to know each other again, and I'm sure in no time you'll remember what we used to have. I loved you, and I did too. I still do. Alright, my blood pressure is like up here. A slight shiver runs down my spine as I stare at the two of them. There is an uncomfortable feeling once again. Bria and Rumpel agree on a spot to meet tomorrow, and then she leans up to kiss Rumpel on the cheek. He puts a hand on her cheek as she walks off with a gentle smile on her face. Are you okay? He looks at me for a few moments. I feel that his gaze lingers longer than it normally does on my own eyes. Then he smiles and laughs. Of course I am, Princess. I just remembered something about my own past. I'm guessing that the second entry has appeared in my journal by now. I can't wait to get back to the merchant to read it. Bria has the rest of my journals, so I might truly be able to remember everything if I talk to her, including your love for her. He sighs out before he proclaims that we should finish our errand. Why didn't you answer? Oh my god. Bro, you are so annoying. You better not. I follow him around the town, though the scenery lacks its usual vibrancy. Rumpel does not speak to anyone, not even the girls, while we walk. He keeps his eyes focused on the ground, and when he speaks to the shop owners, his cheer is lukewarm at best. I try to start a conversation with him many times, but he shies away from talking. What? I feel there is something he's not telling me. Yeah, that he still loves her, and it better not be. I swear to God, like, I will beat someone. When we arrive at the merchant, Rumpel quickly excuses himself, not even sharing his epiphany about his past with anyone. What has him so bent out of shape? He just regained another memory. I'm assuming he's going to go read about it now. It is not like him to hide things. I hope Rumpel is okay. He should be if he wants, or actually, no. He will be if he says that he likes us and not Bria. It has been about a week since Rumpel regained his last memory. He has been meeting with Bria since then. Why? But he still hasn't told me about the memory from the journal. He does not flirt with any girls, and when he sees me, his smile looks broken. What? He spends his days visiting Bria and tending to parfait. Bro, oh my god. You're worried about Rumpel, aren't you? Why would I be worried about him? Because Rumpel is no longer able to run errands with me, Waltz decided to take his place. But Waltz's presence cannot make up for Rumpel's absence. He'll be fine, Princess. He's still figuring things out. I do not trust that woman. His fiancée? She appeared out of nowhere. People who aren't cursed can't find the tavern, Princess. She would never have been able to find him. So really, the only place she could have met him was out here in nowhere. I can tell that he is teasing me, but it does little to lift my spirits. I know. Waltz sighs. If you don't trust her, why not just ask around for her? She obviously does not want to talk to me. No, I mean ask others about her. So as long as you find a way to phrase your intentions honestly, I think they might understand you. Rumpel says my honesty is good, but I also know that the way I speak frustrates many people. Come on, I'll help. Okay, period. We're gonna get the dirt digged up on this bitch. Waltz approaches a flower shop where several people are gathered to look at the fresh flowers. Excuse me, madam, sir. I was wondering if you knew anything about someone named Bria. We hear that she is engaged to a friend of ours, but he hasn't said much about her. Everyone calls me blunt, but I would never question others so openly. Did Waltz really expect the people to be so open to him? Oh, if it isn't Waltz, doing a little investigative work, aren't you? Just looking to find out more about someone important to a friend. Not going to put this into one of your shows, are you? Waltz raises an eyebrow and laughs. Of course not. Everyone just trusts Waltz. I suppose he must speak to people often being a performer. They would probably never suspect Waltz to do anything morally questionable. And yet with me, they were suspicious of everything that I did. I guess it is a good thing Waltz is here. I stifle a sigh as the so-called investigation begins. But Bria, I was under the impression that her fiancé wasn't seeing her anymore. Bria, oh, poor Bria. I heard that poor dear made a mistake and that her fiancé threw her out for it! Oh my god! Is she engaged to someone new now? I'm not surprised, given the affair that she had her first fiancé. Oh my god! We dug the dirt up on this bitch. Excuse me, what did you just say? Oh, you weren't aware? I'm terribly sorry. Perhaps I shouldn't have said anything. You said she cheated on her first fiancé. She was engaged to some man, a doctor, I believe. He was a good man, always smiled, helped everyone, including the poor. I don't see how she would have had the gal to do it, but the rumors say that she was seeing another man. Period! We're gonna go into— oh my god. I think I saw them out together sometimes. He was a rich businessman. Who was he? I believe he was one of the doctor's patients. Oh, no way! Did anyone see this for sure, ma'am? Oh, lots of people did, and that's why the poor man stopped seeing her. Bless his heart. He looked heartbroken. But then the two of them were engaged, so she should have been more committed to him. When Bria first approached Rumpel, she had no idea he had amnesia. She started apologizing to him. Was it for that affair, or am I just speculating? We thanked the woman for her help before continuing to ask around town for more information. We dug up the dirt on this bitch, and we're gonna go tell Rumpel, and he's gonna do away with her. Bye, Bria! The more we hear, the more certain we become. She cheated on him. Princess, I know what you're thinking, but it would be incredibly rash to tell Rumpel about this. Why? It would not! It is not, but she is lying to him. I can still remember the sadness in his eyes. Maybe somewhere deep down, he still knows. Did his journal entry not say anything? You can try talking to him, Princess, but without any evidence, we're just going off of rumors. If you're wrong, I think that would hurt the situation a whole lot more. It's not, though! Oh my god. I first to acknowledge Waltz's reasoning. As much as I want to tell Rumpel right now, I do not even know where he is. We finish our errands for the day and then return to the march-in, where I complete my chores around the tavern before retiring to bed. It's like... Later that night, after churning for hours in bed without any successive sleep, I make my way downstairs for a glass of milk. I stop abruptly at the sound of hushed voices. Parfait and Rumpel are sitting together at a table, their voices soft. It means a lot to me that you're still taking care of me, even with everything you have on your plate. When things are uncertain as they are right now, the little things that remain the same are actually comforting. What, no compliments tonight? He clears his throat. Lady Parfait, I always find comfort in your presence. Your heart's not in it, is it? Please don't stress yourself out trying to take care of me. I've seen the orders of the medicines and the dosages. I can take care of myself, Rumpel. I owe you and Lady Delora for letting me stay here. Even now, you could have kicked me out, yet I'm still here. This isn't the confident Rumpel that I'm used to seeing. It's rather heartbreaking to see you like this, you know. Parfait's eyes just jerk past Rumpel, and she sees me before I can dart away. I think you're worrying about your partner, too. Rumpel turns in his seat and stares at me. Princess? I slowly make my way toward them. I'm sorry, Princess. I haven't been trying to help you at all. It is fine. Parfait's right, though. It is not like you to be so pitiful. Ah, your words are still as sharp as ever. I glance at Parfait curiously. The light of the tavern lights her face up dimly, making it look more ghostly than usual. She looks sicklier. Do you think I look like a ghost, Princess? Yes. By the time night comes around, I am utterly exhausted. You said you were like this because of the Tenenbaum Lucius you have to take care of. That's correct. I used to be able to watch it over it more easily, but now with the balance between both crystals lost in the kingdom is getting harder. This responsibility is a big burden, is a heavy toll on my body. But that doesn't diminish any of my pride. I am proud to bear this responsibility. Someone needs to do it, and I am very glad I can help so many people through bearing this burden. What would happen if you just let the responsibility go? There would be even more chaos than there is now. And what the Tenenbaum bearer, will they not help you with your stress? There is no Tenenbaum bearer currently. What? Parfait stares at me for a few moments, a complicated expression on her face, then suddenly she sighs. Please do not worry about me, Princess. I've lived a good life. I just want to do more good while I still live. And I am very lucky to be surrounded by so many good people. Anyway, the two of you should be off to bed soon. I can tell you're both tired. Parfait pauses to look at me, eyebrows slightly arched. Oh, before you go, there was something I meant to ask you. Ask me? Parfait crosses her arms and looks at me tersely for a few moments. The look is so unlike her that it almost concerns me. She looks uncertain of something, though I cannot imagine what it is. What could she want to discuss with me? I wanted to ask if you were free the day after tomorrow. I am free whenever my schedule says I am. Then if you could spare 20 or so minutes, I want to speak with you about something very important. Important? I suppose you could say it is related to your curse. Fine. Parfait smiles at us before walking back to her room, leaving me alone with Rumpel. Rumpel looks at me uncertainly. For a few moments, I think he might actually talk to me, but then he rushes off after giving me an apology. Why are you acting like this? I watch him walk up the stairs, my heart sinking. I need to know what is going on with him. Bro, I'm actually getting, upset. I want to cry. Today is my day off. I keep on the lookout for Rumpel. Eventually, I see him making his way down the staircase. He does not look quite as disheartened as last night, but his expression is still rather somber. He says good morning to everyone as he usually does, and then walks out through the front door, and that is my cue. Oh, bitch, are you following him? Following behind Rumpel without being seen proves to be remarkably easy. Even if he is perceptive, he won't be expecting me to follow after him when I normally work during these hours. He makes his way through the town until he comes to stop at a little cafe in the main plaza. It is cleverly hidden, just slightly out of view, not at all in plain view like the rest of the shops. Bria is sitting, waiting for him at a table with a journal. The way she smiles at him numbs my heart. I make my way over to a nearby fountain and crouch beside it to keep out of their view. I can hear their conversation just barely from where I sit. You know, I'd been searching for you a long time when I saw you. You suddenly disappeared from the house one night and I couldn't find you. Why? Why did I leave the house? I don't know. Was it a fight? No, not a fight. We barely ever fought. We made a promise when you gave me this ring. We promised we would never make each other sad. I close my eyes and breathe. Bria's words drive a bitterness through my heart after everything I heard. It is possible those rumors were baseless, but isn't it also possible that they were the truth? They are the truth! And Rumpel mentioned a fight. Now is my chance to tell him. I want to interrupt just because I want to make her mad, but I also want to reconsider because I don't want him to be mad, so just reconsider. But if somehow everything that we heard was one big lie, would I hurt Rumpel? I also have my pride. I cannot just accuse someone even if I feel like Bria is guilty of something. I step away from the fountain, meaning to head back the way I came. Even if the situation sounds wrong, I feel that Rumpel would hate me for getting involved. I'm surprised then when he calls my name. Princess, what are you doing here? He saw me. Did he know I was behind the fountain? Spying, are we? I make my way over to the table to where Rumpel is looking at me with worry and Bria is openly scowling at me. Is there something wrong, Miss Partner? Not with me, but perhaps with you. Excuse me. You seem to have quite the reputation. Princess. I have no idea what you're talking about, but taking people's words at face value is foolish. Mother would have said the same thing, but why would they lie? So, it is not true that you were seeing another man. Ooh, period. How dare you? Bria stands up and glares at me. I frown back at her. Her anger does not faze me. She seems like a petulant child. Period! I can't stand jealous girls. They are the bane of my existence. And you're, what, 18? 17, but what does that even matter? Either way, there just be about a 6-year age gap between you two. Oh! 24. Gods, am I really so ancient? The two of us look at him in unison and then back at each other. Bitch. Oh my god, you're old. I'm here because I want to help my partner because you are lying to him. And who are you to say that I'm lying? You're a terrible little spy is what you are. Hiding places to watch us, going around town asking about me. I'm telling you that now that Rumpel doesn't need you, especially if you're the one spewing lies. Those words have no weight coming from a hypocrite. Period! Wait, ladies. Rumpel looks between the two of us, eyebrows furrowed, then he shakes his head. Bria, I knew it was in my journal! What? Rumpel faces Bria, his expression crumpled. It was that lord, wasn't it? The one I refused to take money from that one time I helped him. He told me himself. Wow, it was true, bitch. Yeah, try me. I think that's why this feeling inside of me is so mute right now. Why I was always having second thoughts about your stories. Bria, why didn't you ever tell me you were seeing him? I asked you that question back then too, but you never told me, and so I was waiting for you to bring it up again. I was waiting for you to explain. I was waiting for... as if I could ever get anything through that thick skull of yours. Even I cannot stop myself from staring at her when she insults Rumpel, but with this, she has admitted that the rumors are true. Even if I explained myself, all you would ever say was that you were sorry, but nothing ever changed. What did I do that was so wrong? Look at you. Even now you can't bring yourself to be angry at me. You knew the truth, and instead of demanding to know why I did it, you kept asking what you did wrong. But you never realized what you did wrong, Rumpel. Never. Some things never change. Bria scowls as she makes her way around the table. Rumpel tries to call her back, but Bria only frowns as she walks off. Rumpel lets out a long sigh, and there goes all of my journals too. Right, he said that Bria had all of his old journals. I'm sorry. Huh? I only made things worse. I'm still not entirely sure what they were talking about, but... Princess, you don't have to apologize for anything, though. Oh. I would like you to apologize for shedding some light on my age. What? Am I really truly that old? Suddenly he looks disgruntled, but the look of distraught on his face is almost comical. Oh, she's smiling! I cannot help it when I smile and then start to laugh. Do my ears deceive me? Is that wonderful sound coming from your mouth, Princess? How precious. It's just, you are an old man. If I'm an old man, then I'm young at heart. Besides, I would be a lot more offended if you weren't smiling while you said that. Oh my god. These two are so nice. Oh my god. After a few moments, Rumpel sighs and shakes his head. I'm sorry you had to see all that. I knew there was more to the story than 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐿 was letting on because I read the memory in my journal. You knew about the nobleman? Why did you not say anything? Like I said, I was waiting for her to say something. I want her to open up about it honestly. 𝐕𝐢𝐬 is undoubtedly bold, but I doubt she is at all honest. The journal entry, I never read it to you. You have been distant last week. I have been, and I'm sorry for that. But allow me to enlighten you. Rumpel gestures to the chair that 𝐕𝐢𝐬 had been sitting in, and I take a seat opposite him. First, the nobleman was one of my patients. He had a grievous sickness, one that no one else had been able to cure. I cannot help but remember the little boy with the impossible sickness. It seemed like he was drawn to Rumpel too. Rumpel was not able to help that boy on his own either. Some woman offered her assistance. Did you manage to cure him with the help of that same woman? It's another cryptic entry, but yes. The mysterious woman from the first entry reappears. We struck another deal, but I cannot remember the deal at all. All I know is that afterwards, I did something to make 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐿 hate me and she began seeing the nobleman. Or maybe it was before that. Maybe she was just unhappy. She won't explain why. She still cheated on you. That's her fault, not yours. Rumpel nods absently. I can tell that he is not convinced. In any case, even though I can't remember the entirety of what happened, every time I thought of 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐿, I thought of our love in the past tense. Rumpel frowns, but it is fleeting. Suddenly he is smiling again. Let's head back for now, Princess. I'll figure out how to reach 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐿 later. I follow Rumpel back to the margin, though he seems fine for a time. Rumpel's somberness returns as we head back. He looks like he is trapped in his thoughts. He needs the rest of his journals, but how is he going to get a hold of them now? Oh, Princess, you're here. Sorry we're late. My, the princess is gracing us with her presence? Parfait said a few days ago that she had something to discuss with me, so I'm here. All this crap. Okay, then let's get right to it, shall we? She plops down on one of the chairs and Parfait sits down gracefully beside her. Princess, the other day you asked me about my responsibility and briefly about the tenement bearer. I did, but what does this have to do with me? It has everything to do with you, because when it comes to that second inquiry, the answer is right here. Dolores points at me. I stare at her, not comprehending. Princess, the barrier to the crystal 𝐸𝐻𝐻 is you. What? I'm not even able to feel shocked, just confusion. But how do I have to do anything with these crystals? See, I told you she'd be confused. It's because we started backwards. I'm so sorry, Princess. I do not understand. You remember about the story about the crystals, Princess. For a time, the crystals were in complete balance. Even the witches who drew on negative energy were respected. Then one day, Hans wrote the fairy tales. Witches were suddenly painted as villains. Humans attacked the witches, trying to drive them out. Their leader, who just so happened to be my best friend, was hard pressed to try to keep the peace. She was the original bearer of the crystal. But as witches were killed and thrown out, she found her patience wearing thin. She killed a human, the ultimate taboo, and there was nothing we could do but try to stop her. The bearer is the leader of the witches and bearer of the crystal 𝐸𝐻𝐻 is someone you know, or someone you knew. She erased all your memory. Oh, she did?! Made you think that fairy tales were evil, that humans were terrible. I feel something dark stirring inside of me. A sharp pain cuts through my heart, making it hard to breathe. The previous bearer of the crystal was your mother, Princess, Hilda, the leader of the witches. That is impossible. Mother was not a witch. But she was, the strongest of us all. When she died, she kept some of her power sealed within the crystal, which is why it still allows the Fairytale Curse to be spread. What kind of lie is this? I cannot use magic, and Mother never told me that she was a witch. She would have told me. It sounds like it, doesn't it? But I assure you, Princess, we wouldn't ever lie to you about something like this. As impossible as it seems, you are a witch. Your power won't manifest until you're 18, and at that time you will inherit control of the crystal. Since your birthday is soon, this was the last chance we had to teach you goodness. Your mother's been shielding you from it for so long. We trusted you were different from her, and you are. But Mother was the only one that ever loved me. She stole away your memories and made you hate the world. Delora, she was fostering hatred in you, making you just like her. You do not know anything about Mother. I stand up, rage coiling inside of me like a snake. Lucette, I know a lot about her, more than you will ever know. No. The truth is hard, Princess, but eventually we all have to face it. Hilda was my beloved friend. Facing her was the hardest thing I've ever done. We only want to help you. Well, you are not very good at it. I turned on my heels and stormed out of the room. I feel like there was more to what Delora and Parfait wanted to say to me, but I cannot stand to hear it right now. I walk into the clearing and sit against a tree, fearlessly rubbing at my eyes as I try to clear my dangerously watery eyes. Showing emotion is weak. I sit there for a long time in the clearing trying to calm myself. My thoughts spin wildly out of control. Princess. I see him out of the corner of my eye, standing between two trees, his eyebrows knit together with worry. What, you were listening? Listening? No, I just came to look for you in your room, and when I came downstairs, Parfait told me you had run out into the forest. May I sit next to you? I say nothing as he walks over to me. He sits down beside me, his hands resting on his knees as he looks up at the canopy of the trees. Thank you for today, Princess, for coming after me trying to make things right. I'm not in the mood to talk about this right now. My thoughts are too scrambled. Sometimes, truths are hard. How do you know it was the truth? A feeling. Trusting people is hard sometimes, I understand. He looks at me and his eyes seem to glimmer softly in the moonlight. Would you like someone to listen to your problems, Princess? Ooh. See, this is me, though. This is me. I would talk to him. But her? No, she remained silent. My problems. Why would he want to know about my problems? I understand what it's like, Princess, to have a secret stuck inside of you. To want to keep things to yourself because you're worried that someone will prove you wrong. But you can always talk to me about it. Why are you so interested in my problems? I told you before that the best thing you can do is listen to a person. That's how you learn to sympathize. Oh my god. Besides, I honestly care about you. I will always listen to you, Princess. Rumpel slowly reaches out to rest his hand on top of mine. I sit up straight and stare at him, my eyes wide. Rumpel smiles at me, a slow, soft smile that crinkles the edges of his eyes. Seeing such a beautiful lady close to tears makes my heart break, you know. But if you ever need to cry, you should. Tears aren't weakness, they're just a form of expression, and even the strongest of us cry. I am not going to cry. My mind reels and starts to feel fuzzy. Definitely the eyes, Princess. The title startles me out of my thoughts. I stare at him pointedly, beginning to grimace, but Rumpel just smiles. I always thought it was a delicate name, suitable for a strong and beautiful woman. Seeing you like this, it makes me realize that the name suits you. Perhaps if everyone meant it that way, it would not be so terrible a title. Rumpel slowly takes his hand away and smiles. Though he insists on hearing me out, I insist on the opposite. For now, I want to keep what I discussed with Parfait and Delora to myself. I still need time to process it. For tonight, I just want to forget that the conversation ever happened. For some time, the two of us are silent. There are no words exchanged between the two of us, but the silence is comfortable. Then eventually, Rumpel puts a hand on my shoulder. Things will work out, Princess. I hope so. I stand and excuse myself. Good night, Rumpel. I turn and walk away. Good night, my sweet princess. Chapter 7, Muddled Truce. And you, my little sunflower, are just as radiant as always. Oh my, Rumpel. It's like that whole thing with Brian never happened. He is back to flattering every woman he meets. Overthinking again, Princess? I turn to see Karma grinning at me from where he sits at a table. Surprisingly, he is sitting with Jerry and Garland today, who are arguing about some kind of nightstance. It is none of your business. No, it's not, but you have such a sad look on your face I had to ask. I'd appreciate you not staring at my face. I don't need to stare to see that you're in distress. I turn on my heels and begin to walk away irritated. Even when I am among other people, it is impossible to forget the conversation I had with Parfait and Delora. It hovers at the back of my mind constantly. We have not spoken again since then, yet even now, I am still taking in what they told me before. My mother, the tenant bearer, and me, a witch. The reason others have always feared me is because of my blood. I suppressed a sigh as I attempted to return to my work. As the days go by, I notice myself becoming more and more agitated. Half of it is the recent history lesson, and the other half is Rumpel's flirting with other women. How can he just snap his fingers and get over Bria so quickly? If he flatters every woman, does that mean he does not really mean the things he says to me? I gather the plates off the counter, put them on a tray, and take them to customers. Today, everything feels mechanical. For the last few days, I've been noticing that I walk more stiffly, and if I walk too quickly, my vision blurs. Probably because of my overthinking. I stumble as I bring a tray to a familiar customer. The man looks up at me and asks if I'm okay, and I remember that I am before walking off. The blurriness comes back. What is wrong with me? I look over at Rumpel, who is at a table with two girls, because the shift is over. Rather than boil over on the inside, I feel myself getting warmer on the outside. My skin feels clammy. I have to force myself to take a breath as I get the next round of orders. My last order for the day is for one of the girls at Rumpel's table. I don't want to go over there. I start carrying the tray toward the table, biting down on my lip as the sway comes back into my step. As I draw closer, I notice Rumpel and the girls laughing about something. I grit my teeth and pause in front of them to lay down the tray. This isn't mine, it's my friend's. Yes, I was the one who ordered the soup. The two stare at me. Instead of handing the soup off, they wait for me to move the bowl. Before I can reach over and move it, Rumpel slides it over to the other girl himself. For a few moments, there is a fragment of a scowl on his face. How are you doing today, my sweet princess? When I think about speaking, the words catch feebly in my throat. I turn to walk off. Princess? Still as cold as ice. The title Ice Princess definitely suits her. How can you don't her, Rumpel? Bitch! Despite the numbness of my mind, I still feel angry. I turn around so quickly that I make myself stumble. I feel myself teetering on the edge of falling, but something stops me. Warm hands reach out to grab mine before I can fall. Through my dizziness, I can see Rumpel standing in front of me. Princess, look at me. He puts a hand under my chin and angles my head so I can see him better. The expression on his face is suddenly serious. He looks at me for a few moments before he places a hand on my forehead. Princess, you have a fever. A really high fever, actually. You should go back to your room and rest. I'll drop by with some medication in a few moments after I say goodbye to these ladies. I am fine. My voice comes at hers. Trying to clear my throat only makes me feel more miserable. Princess, you're not fine. You look like you're about to collapse. I will not collapse. I am stronger than that. Mother told me how to be strong. Mother. My thoughts become scrambled. Once again, my mind wanders, but this time I cannot keep myself steady as I try to walk away. Putting one foot in front of the other proves to be too difficult, and I once again feel myself start to stumble. Then I feel warmth, this time arms instead of hands. Sweet little princess, what am I going to do with you? Aww. Before I can understand what is happening, I am lifted off my feet. I feel an arm supporting my back and another supporting me beneath the crook of my knees. Warmth, such a nice warmth. You really are stubborn, aren't you, Princess Lucette? I guess I'll just have to carry you up myself. No! Struggle! I cannot just let him carry me up like this. I attempt to move away from him, but my whole body is weak. It is all I can do to try to roll out of his arms, but even that does not work. If you fall, you get a bump on your head, you know. I'm not weak. I do not need anyone taking care of me. There are voices, an indistinct chattering behind him that belongs to the girls. Rumpel speaks in a low voice. Stubborn she may be, but my sweet princess is stronger than any woman I've ever known. Aww. He pulls me closer to him, and I feel his chest in my head, then his heartbeat. I know you're strong, princess, stronger than anyone else even. But because you are so strong, I know you'll never admit to needing help. That's why I'm going to help you without your permission. I'm sorry. Slowly, I let myself settle in his arms. I lean my head into his chest and listen to his heartbeat. It is a gentle, sweet sound that makes me feeling like drifting into slumber. So warm. But not as warm as you are right now, princess. Wait, no! I want a screenshot. Alright, go. Sorry, y'all.